stream. Holy Saint Knight and we have to let me check something. 56. Alright. So also this isn't the Space Marines. This isn't accurate. I played mostly Apothecary and Force Commander. Tech Marine, no, but it's bagged. You know, it doesn't count anymore, and it's not on Elite. It's on the retail version of Dojo. So, despite Dawn of War 2 being a stupid game, sad truth here. Separate amount of Philippines. Blood Generation. So, this is talking about the Blood DLC. So, how we can fix it? Because we can. I found a solution. First thing first, Chaos Space Marines. The Abyss gets removed. It's not that useful and it sucks as it is really, but they Elite mode made it well. I'm talking about Elite mode now, changes that they need to do. Now the Abyss, let me tell you how I used it in all my gaming career. I would slow a Land Raider with las cannon shots as well as a Plague Marine, so it could barely move, or Baneblade, or the Battle Wagon of Orcs, in general these kind of things. And the Abyss would do a lot of damage to it because it damages vehicles also. Apart that, you can also subjugate a Terminator and cast the Abyss, and the Abyss would do a lot of damage to them and finish them off. But apart that, it doesn't do much. It can't be made to do much. It sucks, let me put it simple. So what we do, we remove the Abyss and we add another ability, which is called Summon a Demon Prince. Not how it is on campaign, obviously. A little bit larger model. We can pick the model not from Dawn of War 1 because that's a huge one with the swords. No, we can pick the model from Dawn of War 40k Gladius Relics of War. They have the Demon Prince there, which is more of how they are, a little bit bigger Marines, because it means a starter demon. That's what Demon Prince means. It's a starter demon. So when someone begins to become a demon, so and they get power. You know, it's not like the Total War Warhammer Demon Prince there. Be'lakor is the first Demon Prince, and he's gained tons of power during the history. So, Demon Prince, like I said, a little bit of bigger Marine. We have the model from Warhammer 40k Gladius. So, we have the Demon Prince. I don't think he should cost 500, but he could cost 500 red resource. Maybe we can make him cost, I don't know, for 300. Maybe less than Terminators, not necessarily 500, but maybe 500. And some resources. So you summon the Demon Prince, he has some abilities, you know, very useful abilities, kind of. The team is gonna make it, the Elite mode team is gonna make it fine, because they did a very good job in making Dawn of War 2 tolerable. I mean, Dawn of War 2 retail is terrible. These guys made it very decent, comparable to Command of Heroes 1, for example. So, we have the Demon Prince for the Chaos Space Marines, and everyone wants a Demon Prince, so they're gonna get it. It would be a good change. Now, Eldar. The Eldar Storm is fine. Everything this faction has, because I played them, is fine. They have what they need. The Phoenix skin is just my own Eldar skin. The Phoenix King, who is in fantasy, that's why I figured it up. So Eldar are fine. Imperial Guards. Imperial Guards got the bombing run, which is it's a decent for Imperial Guards. No changes here. It is my own scene. Now the Orcs, these guys are fine with what they got. They're 3. Space Marines. Orbital Bombardment is fine. You also get to shoot on the enemies that are lifted from the orbital bombardment, so it is fine. No changes here. This faction is one of the best made, as well as the Great Knights. Demon Hunter, Universal Assassin, blah, blah, blah. Okay, and now Tyranids. Here is the good deal. Another good change. They remove the Tyranno formation because it sucks. Doesn't make any sense. They can summon Capillary Tower. Tyranno formation is useless. It can deal damage and trap the opponent, knock them down so they get swarmed by Tyranids, but no, really, I don't find it much of a useful or that makes sense of Tyranids. But they can also improve the infestation, the Capillary Tower. I don't know, maybe the bonus that this gives are bigger, but instead of this, they can improve this, the infestation, the Capillary Tower here. And instead they would get something else. Now, what's like a Tyrannid thing? Let's think about it. What's that? Fully biomorphic dragons. Now I guess they can also cast Tyranno information to steal power generators. Something to keep in mind. Is that Mystic's Force? Okay, but and destroy buildings as well, but you know, not really the best of. They can also kill vehicles with it, but we can find out something better for the Tyranids. Because I haven't played with them much, I can't suggest something, maybe the best suggestion, but I'll give it a shot. What they could do if they get something else from this. Because don't get me wrong, the Tyranno formation is useful, especially if it casts on enemy base, and you know, having killed the enemy turrets, which is very hard to do though. But it is useful if it's cast on enemy base. You get to do good base rushes with it, but I was thinking for something better, I mean in a sense that fits the Tyranids more. Now I don't know a lot of them sadly, so I just have to think about it now. The Tyranids, what do they do? They got syrups, they got their capillary towers, they got rippers. What something useful for them? Okay, I got it. No. I'm trying to think of something that would fit them. They can reinforce from this as well. Have the Tyranno formation too. Usually the Tyranids love their Tyranno formation, so from what I've seen from players. So on that regard, maybe just leave it, don't go too. But I was trying to, and it also leaves buildings there. Okay, another suggestion would be to give them, if we remove the Tyranno formation, give them the option to summon a Swarm Lord with a red resource and reduced cost. Or they can keep the Tyranno formation and get this ability as well. Give them the ability to summon Swarm Lord to you, having paid red resource. Or one of the... maybe a Trigon or something that they don't have. A unit that they don't have here, that is in a battle sector. Maybe give them this ability and remove the Tyranno formation. What's called Trigon, or what's that thing with which barrows and attacks. Don't remember the name. You know, it was that big thing that attacks heavily with melee, and it is moves like a snake. Okay, this, and as well as this suggestion. Let me whatever. Let's start the game. I'm not gonna play. I'm gonna do something. The Tyrannid Ravener Brood. The Ravener Brood shouldn't have the ability to bury and, you know, jump on the enemy infantry. Well, it doesn't jump like an Assault Marine or teleports. It buries and comes from beneath, but that's not the thing. It doesn't make any sense. What kind of claws these guys, the Raveners, what kind of claws they haven't buried? It doesn't make any sense. So instead, they will be able, this gets removed, and they will be able by default to bury underground. Or, I don't know, maybe pay to bury. They are a ranged unit as well as fighting with melee capability. Ranged effective, can be upgraded. Okay, it can be upgraded. So by default, they just bury and move around the map, buried, ignoring terrain, obviously, except from this, which is a cliff. They can't bury through and move through this in this line. So instead, they should be able to bury in the ground. And the Raveners should bury. Factions aren't created equal. They are not the same faction. So this is what I suggest. I'm not talking about I don't know how it's called, Trigon or not the HQ. I don't remember the name. It's a big single entity unit of Tyrannids that moves like a snake and has four big talons to hit. Don't remember the name. It's a melee. Maybe they should be able to summon this. So this changes. Let's exit the game. We'll make we'll add more flavor to Dawn of War 2, which it desperately needs. Also, something else though, I'm gonna go for this too. Now we all know that suppression, the mechanic of suppression is game here. Custom game private. Okay, whatever, ready, whatever, starting. We all know that the mechanic of suppression, just suppressing the entire army, is stupid. Okay, we all agree on that. It is a heavy weapon team suppressing the entire army. This is stupid. So here is what I propose for this to make it a proper Dawn of Warhammer game. It's not Company of Heroes, guys. You know, getting shot wearing power. By the way, guys, the cover here makes no sense because
Acquisition point spotted!
Because the power armor is stronger than the rocks for these crates, so it doesn't make any.
We are eager to prove our
It doesn't make any sense. It doesn't make any sense to go behind cover where your armor is much tougher than this and the cover gets blasted. So here is the good solution that I propose.
We
for the
Havocs are ready to
suppressor.
unleash chaos.
Now, this is a very good hold fire task to use. In the release of Dawn of War 2, the
Confirmed.
heavy weapons teams would turn their weapon facing on their own. They wouldn't just set up and switch. For example, I set
No
up like
rest,
this.
no pause.
They face this direction. They can't turn. I have to manually set them up and then turn them. Like this, for example. By the way, if they get knocked down, they, in a sense, they are faster to unset up to get up. So here is the thing. The elite bot team, of course, they can restore this mechanic to the weapons, heavy weapons team, but heavy weapons team won't be able to. The morale of this game has morale. The morale is like the suppression resistance. Cultists behind cover, for example, like this, are harder to suppress. Now, this is how we're gonna fix it into a real competitive game, not
Do not trifle. I go.
make it keep having it stupid. Did after all,
From the eye of terror.
You give ground to the enemy.
careful
Fight harder.
generation, house, and your own squads in a radius. That's great. They fixed it. They gave it
Brace for the harness of upgrade interrupted.
in a radius 10 with every strike. Okay, this increases the surrounding energy also.
Ready for eternal
Now, as I
war.
was saying, how Space Marines behind cover are even harder to suppress.
Use
But
what cover
that's
you
the
can.
morale in this game.
We are eager to prove
Now to fix
ourselves.
this,
Who dies today?
My power yet grows. I am here to lead you.
Powering the Dark Halo.
Who dies today?
heavy weapons team, for example, or the Dreadnought suppression. I don't know about Dreadnought suppression, or they won't be able. Every weapon deals suppression damage, good at
yet
damage,
grows.
goes like that. But the thing
Give
is,
me a challenge.
it's called C. The
Ready
thing
flamers.
is that
Havocs.
the Havocs, the heavy weapons teams in general will deal a lot of
Enemies of the Dark Gods.
suppression
flee
damage,
Fall
so
now
enemy,
upon the
so the
unholy
enemy
power
units
of the
will be
Chaos
instantly
Gods.
suppressed.
Feel the arms of chaos.
I'm gonna shoot, change this. That's what I
Chaos
suggest.
Space Marines.
Also about that.
We are legion. Let the slaughter begin.
Ready!
I'm gonna change this into
You may fail
every
us
weapon
this
dealing
day.
more suppression damage, but removing
for
these
eternal
tons
war.
of suppression damage, courage damage, let's call it like that.
Attacks one of your structures.
Yeah, I get that.
Fresh warriors dispatched. Our temple's dark majesty grows with our power.
Havocs ready.
It's time for every heavy weapon.
We are chaos. Last cannon ready. Find me a target.
Bring to
Always ready.
Why does anything think I can be killed?
Forge the armor of Khorne. The enemy attacks one of your structures. Commander, destroy the Eldar. Eldar kill.
Okay, as I was saying,
gift of demonic countenance shall be
It all
yours.
depends on what you're fighting against, guys. Just making some of my usual upgrades for a ranged lord. So every weapon now deals more courage damage. Of course, the heavy weapon still will deal a lot of courage damage. I mean, maybe more than a bolter because they have
See
a
the face
high
of
rate of
terror.
fire. So they're gonna be firing more, which means more courage
shall
damage,
triumph.
but
Name
not
your
that
target.
instant
We will be
suppression
merciless.
damage.
You
And
are failing your gods.
I am here to lead you.
τι γίνεται τώρα, παιδιά? Πώς έγινε αυτό?
Give me a challenge. Take me to them that I may render
Ready?
judgment.
We
Ah.
have 200 points
I think they
remaining.
changed this also, so
I go.
you get the no, you get the last icon from armor. Anyway, every weapon now deals courage damage, more courage damage than it already does.
My power yet grows.
Okay, now if I use this,
Forge the armor of
it says
Khorne.
flame icon.
Take me to them that I may render judgment. Your flesh will charm.
Damage. Piercing the blade. Ability flame.
Armor is forged.
It's ability flame damage. Dealing. Alright, let me.
Confirmed.
Let's
Give
check
me a challenge.
So as I was saying, I want to see how they land.
Come fire. Let the galaxy burn.
Okay, that's a very good spread. Nice. And what's the weapon damage? 30 flame damage and weapon knockback.
That pipe looks like shelter.
Alright. So every weapon
have
every weapon now
100
deals more
points
courage
remaining.
damage that it already does.
Confirmed.
And
It is a good pain.
of course the heavy weapon still will also be dealing a lot of courage damage because of the high rate of
This
fire.
is not the victory
But
you promised us.
from any type of heavy weapons team, the one or the Raptor jump ability, they won't instant suppress anything. They will deal just a lot of courage damage. And of course, if the unit is fired from a bolter
Who dies
and a
today?
Raptor jumps, well, they will take a lot of courage damage, which means they're gonna be suppressed or something like that. And even these guys.
For the dark gods.
Grenade
Weapons for
launcher.
the slaves of heresy.
I'm about to lose. Anyway. So, have any heavy weapon team Eldar or special anything? Yeah. They will do just a lot of courage damage. And for example, if a Havoc, just an example, a Havoc is firing with his heavy weapon, heavy bolter, and this guy jump, well, I guess that would be enough courage damage. Even the grenade launcher of Calvin
Is not the
dealing
way of
courage damage.
chaos.
So that would be enough courage damage to suppress the Siren, which they can jump around now and suppress the entire army with the Siren the Raptors have. Well, now with the changes I propose, that would be enough. A heavy weapon team, if they fire, and these guys jump, the Raptors jump. I guess with the new variants, the new volumes, volumes of the variants of courage damage each weapon will do, would be enough to suppress units they hit, because heavy bolter deals area of effect damage, as you all know, but the Raptors, have to switch the manually target to jump to the next unit currently to suppress it. Now this will change because the heavy bolters will deal the area of effect damage, but the Raptors themselves won't be able to suppress. To do area of effect, if they jump at a spot, they would just affect the surrounding the units they are adjacent to them. But if you jump them afterwards, they get to jump charge a small distance, so they will be able to affect a lot of troops. So in this combination, would be able to suppress them. Now, if just a heavy weapons team is firing at a unit, of course they're dealing a lot of damage. If the units, as the units won't be suppressed by them, this still happens. This still is happening. That's why units get suppressed, because they take reduced damage when they get suppressed. Reduced range damage, but they get suppressed. You know, they move slower and attack range attack is slower. Now, as I said, if currently a heavy weapon team is firing at a unit, I guess it would take like 3 to 4 or 4 to 5 full volleys to suppress them alone. Think of it like this. So this is my suggestion to how to fix Dawn of War 2 and make it for the elite mode, I'm saying, because this is not going to happen in retail, and make it because having a heavy weapon team just suppressing the entire army is we all use it, but it's you know, it's ridiculous. It's not this isn't Company of Heroes. This is from Company of Heroes, and it's not Company of Heroes. What am I? These stats are not correct, by the way. This now it stands with the custom battles. It's not just the rank. It used to be the rank, so well, these aren't. We will make the game okay, different to Company of Heroes, and this look at Dawn of War 3 and Dawn of War R. Suppression is still there, but you need to fire a lot of sources to make a unit suppressed and more suppressed. So think of it this way: these changes will make it more Warhammer and less Company of Heroes. And the heavy weapon teams, as I said, they should be able to turn on their own if target is within range. I mean, and they see it within range. They should be able to turn on their own, and that used to be either by making it like the hold fire stance player only. You have to target it manually to turn, or by automatic giving them the freedom, because it doesn't always serve you to turn around the heavy weapons team if a unit passes, because that could be just a decoy. So this changes with suppression and with the red resource. Let's go public, private. CSM, they're gonna get their Demon Prince, not the Abyss. That's stupid. And the Tyranids will get this unit that I said, and remove Tyranno formation. Now, if this happens, or they can keep Tyranno formation and get that unit as well. So in total, they would have 6. I'm fine with it. Just giving cool ideas. So if these changes happen, also something about the Imperial Guard, for example. Look at this. The Basilisk Kirbilling Barrage. It's the Imperial Guard should get a Basilisk unit. The reason is, look, they have the Basilisk Flare. Yeah, they should get a Basilisk unit during these barrages to produce themselves. Because, I mean, this is stupid. It's just an icon without having any meaning. Now, giving the Imperial Guard Basilisk as a unit, they have the Manticore, but they should also have the Basilisk. And the Valkyrie here coming to drop. Now, in Company of Heroes, you get to shoot enemy air force that brings drops or do bombardment runs. I would say we should be able to shoot enemy aircraft that comes to do drops and deal bombardment runs. Here as well, here they are not targetable. So as I was saying, the Imperial Guard could get a Basilisk as a unit. Sure, why not? What do we have about these guys? Okay, this guy. And what's that? Who else? Okay, so they should get a Basilisk, and aircraft should be targetable, but yeah, aircraft definitely should be targetable, and you know, be seen from where they are coming from the one edge of the map towards the other. That would be cool if it happens. So with these changes, because currently now, for example, the Zinch Dreadnought, the Space Marine Dreadnought barrage of course should do a lot of suppression damage if you upgrade with the auto cannon, obviously. Now the Zinch Dreadnought, of course, it would do a lot of suppression damage still. Now this barrage, this suppression damage, obviously gonna be a bit higher, a lot of suppression damage. I mean, these kind of abilities, because they require the special upgrade, so they could for example, let's you do the barrage and you have a marine squad firing, a tactical marine squad firing on the targeted units. Of course, it means you switch targets on them. So some bullets hit one squad, other bullets hit the other squad of a single volley of the Space Marines. Now I'm talking squad that fires. Well, this would be, I guess, enough to suppress the units affected, because that's that's some heavy firepower coming on them. Okay, guys, so these are my ideas how to improve the elite mode even more than what it is now, because it's gonna be more. I mean, these changes will be welcomed because no one likes this suppression thing. Instant suppresses, everything gets suppressed. Now, scout shotguns, for example, they would still deal a lot of suppression damage, but not suppressing instantly, but they still do the knockback damage. What else is? And the scout shotguns deal a lot of damage themselves too, so the Banshee Scream, Banshee Scream, in combination with the suppression, what's called this heavy weapon stream of the Eldar, I guess would be enough to suppress something like that. If these changes take place, elite mode would be, and Dawn of War 2 in general would be, it would be, finally, it would be Warhammer, not Company of Heroes in Space, and it's gonna be different. I mean, its own kind. How can I put it? It's gonna be Warhammer for sure, and it's gonna get rid of this Company of Heroes in Space characteristics. So I hope these changes happen. These are my suggestions about the game. Be well, everybody, and see you in the next cast.